Hi, this is Varda Mirza with Maharani Diaries, and today I'm making a very special pineapple cream cake using a cake box mix. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some melted butter and spread it out in a 10-inch pan like so. This is going to be a layered cake, and this is the first layer. I'm going to go ahead and add sugar to the butter. My goal here is to not dissolve the sugar into the butter, but to have like a caramelized layer of pineapples and sugar and cherries on the top. It gives it a really beautiful flavor and it looks gorgeous. So I've spread out the sugar like so. Now I'm going to open a can of sliced pineapples, and I'm going to spread the pineapple slices out like so. The top layer, you can think of it as an upside down cake, really. So what you see in the bottom is going to be the top of the cake. You can go ahead and add some cherries if you want to be extra fancy. I just love using boxed cake recipes because they're so foolproof and easy. Now I'm going to take a bowl to mix my batter, and I'm following the recipe on the box, adding 3 eggs and butter at room temperature and mixing it together. For this recipe, I have used Betty Crocker's yellow cake mix that is extra moist, and it uses butter instead of vegetable oil. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the dry ingredients and mix it all in. Now you're supposed to add water to this part of the batter if you're following the recipe on the box to the T, but I want this layer to be less fluffy and more dense, so I'm not going to add any water to this part of the cake because I want the batter to be nice and dense. I'm going to mix it with my hand spatula and just add it onto the pan very gently, because if I am not gentle, all my pineapples and my cherries are going to start moving around because the batter is really sticky and heavy. So I'm going to gently pour it out. What I love about boxed recipes is that you can change them up to create your own special cake. And especially when you have a party or an event, you want things to go, you want like a foolproof plan. Now you can see that I'm mixing it, spreading it out. Not mixing it, but spreading it out onto the pan very carefully. My cherries are already starting to move around, so you have to be extra, extra gentle. Now give your pan a tap, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the oven that is preheated for 360 degrees until I stick a toothpick in it and it comes out clean. And you're going to see at the end how beautiful this cake looks when it's upside down. Now I'm starting this next layer of the cake. And again, I have mixed eggs together with butter. And I'm using the same bowl because it's pretty much the same recipe. And what I have done this time is I have added some pineapple juice from the can. Because I want this part of the cake to be fluffy and sweet and more pineapple-y. So I'm just going to go ahead and add my dry box ingredients and whisk everything together. This batter is going to be a little more drippy and liquidy because of the pineapple juice. Now I'm going to use the same pan, of course, because I want both the layers to be exactly the same size. I'm going to pour out my batter onto the pan. And if you want that top layer to be fluffy and moist and a little more sweet, you can definitely add in pineapple juice to that first layer as well. But it might be a little hard to work with because of the pineapple embedded on the top. But here you have it. Tap it again and stick it in the oven. That's preheated for 360 degrees. Now for the fresh cream, I am taking 3 cups of heavy whipping cream into a bowl that has already been in the freezer for an hour. So just stick the bowl into the freezer so it's nice and cold. Your heavy whipping cream needs to be really cold out of the refrigerator. If you want to take it a step further, you can go ahead and put the prongs of your handheld electric mixer into the freezer for a while too, because you want everything to be nice and cold so your fresh cream can quickly form swift peaks. Now I'm going to go ahead and add, for 3 cups of heavy whipping cream, I'm going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of sugar. You can definitely add more if you want your cream to be very sweet, but this cake is already very sweet because of the pineapple and the pineapple juice that we're going to be pouring in a little bit. You're going to see how we're going to do that. So take your electric handheld mixer and just whisk away until you see your cream forming patterns, swift peaks. And here is my second layer of the cake, or my second batch of the cake, and I wanted to have an extra layer. So I'm going to go ahead and take a bread knife, sorry, and slice it right through in the middle. For this, you need a lot of patience and a delicate hand. Make sure that your cake has cooled down when you're doing this. Don't do it when it's right out of the oven. And if you do it gently and you keep rotating the plate gently, you will cut it really nicely. You'll get a really nice cut. I accidentally made a bit of a hole in it, but that's okay because it's my middle layer and nobody's going to open my cake to see if there's a hole in there or not. So it's just fine. Very gentle, because the cake is a little bit crumbly and a little bit moist at places. Now that you have cut it open, pour more pineapple juice onto the cake. And we want the cake to absorb the pineapple juice. In your fresh cream, go ahead and fold in, not mix in, fold in very gently bits of pineapple. And when you're doing that, make sure that you have squeezed out the juice as much as possible from these pineapple bits, because they do have the tendency to deflate the frosting that you have just created. And you don't want that to happen because that's going to undo all your work. So gently fold in those pineapple bits into your frosting. And that's also going to sweeten the frosting quite a bit. Take a spreading knife of some sort and go ahead and spread the fresh pineapple cream on the middle layer. We're just making like a cake sandwich with fresh cream in the middle. This cream part is just so delicious. Everybody is going to be blown away by this recipe. It tastes amazing throughout all seasons, whether it's Christmas, it's summertime, somebody's birthday, just a dinner party. Your guests are going to be really impressed because it tastes wonderful. It's so exotic and it looks amazing. And you're going to see that in a minute. So spread the cream very gently. And yeah, that was me getting a taste of that fresh cream. Go ahead and put the second layer on top, and this is the layer that had a bit of a hole in it. I'm going to spread more cream onto it. If you're trying to make a smaller cake, you're welcome to put it in a smaller pan, like bake it in a smaller pan, or just have 1 or 2 layers. This cake is so sweet and rich because of the cream that, you know, people are not going to have really huge slices. So I would say if you're having around 7 to 10 people, 2 layers is all you need. You can even use this cream as frosting, but it doesn't last, you know, it's not like your buttercream frosting that it would last forever. So you have to be really careful with the temperature with it. You have to really keep it very cold. But it tastes amazing, very light. There you go. And you know what? If you're not a very fancy, smancy kind of a person who likes cakes and decorating in general, you can just bake this cake regularly and serve this cream as a side or as a blob on top of each slice. It would still be great. It would still be fabulous. So now the top layer, the where we had embedded the pineapples and cherries, is going to go on top. And you can see that the beautiful, beautiful pineapples are kind of showing, peeking through. And a paste or place that top right on top of that cake that we have